Welcome back, car family. It's Annie here. Today's a great day here in Houston, Texas. We have a high of 95. Okay, to say the least, it's pretty hot out here. It's been a pretty busy week. I've been working on the Turbo Miata series, which y'all will see hopefully next week. We've got a few updates on the shop renovation series, and that car that I mentioned that I was importing from Japan has finally arrived in the States, and I'm so excited to see it. But first, it needs to pass state inspection. So I won't be seeing it for a few more days, but I'm so excited to show you guys and to see it in person to see how it actually looks like. I only saw some low resolution photos of the car back when it was still in Japan in the auction, so it's basically a surprise when it actually arrives. Like, for all I know, it could not even be running. So that is another thing that's going to be happening this week. Let me show you guys exactly what I'm working on in the shop. The Miata looks so scared, but little does it know that it's finally going to be a fast car. Well, as fast as the Miata can get. So here's where I'm at with the car. I've gotten everything uninstalled, but now I have to start installing all the things from the new turbo kit. I ended up going with a 1.6 liter ISR Performance turbo kit. It just came out. And now that I have everything welded on that I needed to be welded, which was the oil bung for the oil pan and the modular flange for the intercooler piping, I can now finally start installing the turbo kit. I'm so ready for this car to be fast, because the one thing that sucks about having the Miata, which I love Miatas, but you have to admit they are slow. And in Houston, everyone drives really fast, to the point where I had trouble like merging into lanes because just how slow this car is. And 250 wheel horsepower for a car that weighs basically nothing is amazing. But you guys will be seeing more on the Miata hopefully next week if everything goes to plan, which it should, because it's a pretty straightforward kit. But I do have a tendency of breaking stuff, so hopefully everything goes to plan. So what we're doing today is going over to Center City and going to go check out my R35 GT-R, which has been in the works for quite some time. I'm gonna show you guys all the details on the car once we get to the shop. We're gonna be going to Ceramic Pro Houston, so it is about an hour drive from my house. Then again, my house is pretty far from everything, including fiber internet. Also, I am so sorry if the camera is shaky. I'm using my big camera, so bear with me. Your girl is starting to get weak. I'm honestly super scared to see the GT-R. I try to avoid seeing it in the state that it's in currently, just because it breaks my heart. This is my baby we're talking about. Like, we have so many projects in the works to make this car the coolest it can be, but right now it's pretty stripped down. Now, my R35 is gonna be a SEMA car, but I don't think we're gonna make SEMA this year, because I kind of have delayed making a bunch of decisions on the car for quite some time, to the point where I've hit the deadline, and we're gonna find out today if we're gonna be making the deadline for SEMA. I really hope we are, because it'd be really cool to have a car in the show, but I mean, at the end of the day, I know that I delayed it, so I'm gonna take responsibility for my actions. All right, let's go hop in my big old truck. Oh, they're gonna hate me because I'm super late. At this point, they're just used to me being late though, so they kind of expect it. This is my little daily, or should I call it a big daily, because it's pretty big. I have a 9-foot clearance after all. This is my 2020 Ford F-250, and if you want some more details on it, I actually just revealed a car collection video which touched on all the modifications that are on this truck, as well as all my other cars in the collection. All right, let's hop in. But before we head over to the long voyage ahead of us, we have to stop for some gas, or should I say diesel. We do have an hour-long drive ahead of us, which honestly is not that bad in Houston. An hour is basically what it takes to get anywhere in the city. But let's buckle up and head over to the gas station. All right, we're here. Let's see what the damage is for today. This is the not fun part. All right, it's gonna be a minute before it fully finishes pumping the gas, because I have a pretty big tank. I think it's a 43-gallon tank on this truck. You can't quote me on that. So yes, we're gonna be heading over to Ceramic Pro Houston today, and I've been friends with the owner, Brian, for quite some time now, like about as long as I've lived in Houston, actually. He's the one that I go to for all of my ideas, whether they're good ones or bad ones. He will tell me straight. He'll either egg me on the stupid idea that I have because it's realistic enough that it could work, but very dumb. Or he gives it to me straight and tells me when an idea is actually bad and that I should not waste my time doing it. But he's one of the few homies that actually goes along with my stupid ideas. And trust me, I have a lot of them. Actually, if you think about it, my Audi, he's actually the only other person that loves that car as much as I do. Like, he's been along for the entire journey, or at least most of the journey, and he's watched that car grow from me having full bolt-ons to the fully built engine that I have now. But there is the gas. $67. I guess it's not too bad for today. At one point, it used to go up to $150 for the entire tank, and that was a rough time. Like, I had to do 2 separate transactions because it went above the minimum or the maximum. I also just checked the time and I realized that I'm a little bit more than late. Like, I'm an hour late. Brian's gonna kill me. All right, we are here at Ceramic Pro Houston. Hey, Brian. How's the new shop going?
Going pretty good. Come check it out. All right, one of the projects that we have in here today is a Mercedes GT350. We're actually going to be doing the performance package. A full front, bumper, hood, both fenders, high impact areas here on the rear, as well as a full ceramic coating of the Ceramic Pro Ion. All right, here's another project we have, Porsche 2017 991.2. This is a Targa GTS. We're doing a full color change for this customer. It's using TinyBot's metallic green. The SKU number is actually 3042 if you want to check it out. All right, here's one of our other projects we have going on. This is a new EV. This is the Chevy Blaze EV RS model. We treated it with the Ceramic Pro 5-year package, which is our silver. That includes a Ceramic Pro top coat as well as the 9H. With that, we also did a level 1 paint correction. That just cures kind of simple light scratches, anything that you usually can see when they do prepping on new vehicles.
Brian, this one's yours.
This is one of my favorite cars of all time. I've owned a lot of cars, anything from Civics to Audi R8 twin turbos, but for a long time I wanted a Bug-Eye WRX in this specific color. So about 5 years ago I bought this, wasn't running, sitting in the back of someone's yard. We actually got it running within the first hour or so. Found out the comment, hey, head gaskets are blown. So we've got the engine fully ready to go, new clutch, rod bolts, head bolts. We're going a little deeper where we're gonna be. So I have a set of Volk ZE40s in white. They're actually the limited edition time attack versions, but we're actually gonna be doing wide body airlift. The wide body is actually gonna be carbon fiber. Recently when I went to Japan, I actually got some original HKS carbon intakes, other components that they actually haven't made since 2005. So that was fun trying to find.
And what other cars do you have? Because I know that you used to go through cars like left and right. Every single time I would go and visit him at the shop, he would already have a new car. Like, you've gone through so many.
So what I currently still have, so one of my favorites that I got, which I tattooed on me forever, was my 2000 R8 base with all the carbon parts, and actually it was a Sheepy Stage 2 Plus with Motec standalone, 1450 horsepower. But I did the adult move. I sold that to actually open some additional businesses. What I currently have is a 2023 BMW X6M Comp, lowered suspension, tune, all the goodies. It sits right around 800 wheel. 2015 two-door GTI. But what's unique about it is I converted into what would be a two-door R. Those only existed in Europe. That car, when it's done, it will be right around 680 to 700 wheel horsepower. That's being conservative. I also have a 992 911 Targa GTS, spec'd in British Racing Green, Heritage tan interior with the houndstooth centers. That should be here in the next couple of months, so I'm excited for that because that's actually my dream car. Over any supercar or hypercar, give me a Targa.
All right, and now the moment you guys have been waiting for, the GT-R. It doesn't look the best right now. It actually looks kind of like a monster. It is, oh my God, I don't even want to look at it.
All right, let's go over why we're starting this project in the first place. One is to actually fix the foundation. So when Annie got this car years ago, it looked great from the outside, but actually when you looked underneath, there's a lot of things missing, a lot of things broken. Stereo didn't work outside of 2 highs on the dash. It was missing all the exhaust hangers, so that was only held on by zip ties. Same with charcoal canister in the back for the fuel system.
Hey, my charcoal canister was held on by shoelaces that I have concocted happened myself.
Yes, but you did not cause that in the first place. That was another temporary fix. But the long ways to go, and let me show you a few things. One, we're gonna be putting new fenders on this. We're gonna properly recut these. There was not proper rust protection, primer, or even paint really put on them originally. Back here on the rear quarters is actually the biggest problem. You know, it looks like a beaver kind of chewed on those to get them to open it up for the over fenders. But actually, if you check out right here, the pie cuts, they actually never even fully filled them in. So there's actually about 6 inches of dirt up on the inside there.
Oh God. I remember seeing the kit when I bought it and knowing that it was exposed and that I would have problems with rocks getting into the kit and furthermore rusting it out eventually. So I'm glad that we're starting to fix that issue up because it was one of the most concerning things about the vehicle in the first place.
We have the interior out. So as I mentioned before, none of the stereo system works. So we have actually pulled out all the aftermarket wiring and reinstalled a lot of the original OEM wiring that we had to purchase. And we're actually now gonna take both the Starlight headliner system as well as the aftermarket stereo system and any third aftermarket electronics, and we're actually going to put them all in the trunk and make it fully serviceable. This way, if a fuse blows or something happens, airlift system has an issue at the ECU, Annie can possibly fix it on the fly.
Emphasis on can possibly. The interior is so not put together. It's honestly funny to look at. It looks like a project car, but like, it doesn't look like an R35 is what I'm trying to say. So if you look up there on those shelves, that's actually my entire Liberty Walk kit. So right now we're running a stack body, I guess minus the hood, that's also Liberty Walk. So we're gonna be putting the fenders on. It has the wang, Liberty Walk bumper, Liberty Walk trunk, Liberty Walk diffuser, and lastly the front lip.
But we will be putting a custom front lip on it and possibly making some tweaks to the original Liberty Walk diffuser as well.
So Brian, you know what I'm gonna mention. You've been mad at me for quite some time. Why is that?
Let's see, we started disassembling, I think February 3rd, and we're almost at August 3rd, and we're finally gonna pick a color for this.
All right, in my defense, I didn't want to pick a color that I didn't like 100% love, and I really liked my other color, so whatever we're gonna choose really has to beat that one. The funny part is most of the colors that I came up with looked pretty similar to the one that I already have. The one thing I did not like about my previous wrap is the fact that it looked too minty at times, so I think that's one thing that I want not to be in the next wrap color. We did curate a list of sample colors that I do like so far, so we're gonna go ahead and test them out onto the car. All right, run me down, boss. What do we got?
We have the Space Gold Blue from TinyBot. These are all from TinyBot.
That's the Space Gold Blue.
Second one here in the middle is Space Candy Baby Blue. And the last option is Gloss Laser Flip Snowstorm Blue.
There are a few other colors that we were also interested in looking at. So we're looking in at Pearl Jazz Blue, Pearl Gray Dawn, and Incheon Sunset, which is actually not a blue, it's actually an orangey, like pink color. So I don't know if the GT-R is gonna look good in like a pink coral color. That's the one thing that was really taking me off. I really like the color. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color, but I can't get away from the blue. It just looks so genuine. So I think from this list, I'm kind of leaning towards the Space Candy Baby Blue. Like that just looks so nice, and I'm hoping my camera's picking it up nicely because in person, it actually looks similar to like the M2 color, the M2 light blue that just came out in the newer M2s, except it also has like a shimmery undertone, so it's way more depth. And up here is actually my original wrap color. This is the crystal blue, but it doesn't really look crystal blue. It actually looks like more white undertone. It's definitely time for a change. I'm surprised I'm saying this because I've been fighting for that wrap color for a while, but I'm glad that we're making the change. In my defense, the Pearl Jazz Blue and the Pearl Gray Dawn kind of look similar to the old color, but it's just different, I swear. The color choices are pretty different from the previous wrap color. Oh, over here is the TinyBot pamphlet, so all the colors, and that's Pearl Jazz Blue, and that's Pearl Gray Dawn. Okay, all right, I have a problem. Yeah. Well, actually, do you want to show the color that I was actually looking at in the first place? The camera doesn't even want to pick it up because it literally looks like the same color. I think I have a problem. I think I just really liked that color before, but I'm glad that the new color is going to be pushing in a new wave for this car that's really going to make it my own, because the previous owner actually picked that crystal blue color, and even though I really liked it, it's time for a change to make this car more me. But out of these three colors, I really like that middle tone. I kind of want to see how these look in daylight, so let me me go take the samples outside. Here we are, we've got all the colors here outside. The sun is essentially almost down, but got enough sunlight to gauge just how much the colors shift in the actual daylight. I don't know, I'm really leaning towards that middle color. I think this is a little too turquoisey green, yellow, and this is just a little too sparkly in my opinion. It actually looks more sparkly in person, but for some reason it's looking really flat right there. But really liking that middle color. So I don't have the sample to the Incheon Sunset. They don't have it in the sample book and they didn't have any extras at the shop. So we're gonna go based off these 3 colors, but I think I'm gonna need your guys' help. So I'm gonna be actually messaging you guys in the Instagram channel. So based off of what you guys write on that poll, I'm gonna decide the wrap colors. Go over there, go on my Instagram and follow me on there and help me decide exactly what I'm gonna do with the GT-R. I also want to run you guys down on what modifications are on the car because I did a car collection video, but the GT-R was here and I didn't get a chance to go through the mod list with you guys. So let's go do a quick walkthrough of the car and show you guys exactly what is aftermarket on the car. Other than the Liberty Walk kit, oh, it looks so ugly. All right, so other than the Liberty Walk kit, we got these 3-piece Boston wheels, which the previous owner got, but come to find out, they're like $2,500 each. So I will not be getting new wheels.
$4,000 each.
Oh, no way. Oh, these are bougie wheels, oh my God.
And we should repaint them a different color.
Yeah, so the inner wheel wells are actually wrapped. You can't really see it because of the brake dust, but the inner wheel wells are actually wrapped the same color that it was previously, the crystal blue color, but it would never show because the brake dust would always cover it.
We cleaned them a lot.
Oftentimes, yes.
A lot.
We have a Linny straight pipe exhaust as well as an Alpha 7 package, so it's running around 625 wheel horsepower. Plus, it has E85 capabilities, but the car needs to be retuned because the previous owner actually lived in Florida, so it's tuned for Florida rather than Texas, so gotta readjust that.
And it's actually on ECU tech, so it's not on the normal Alpha kit.
Yeah, we also have 1300cc injectors. I know the Alpha 7 package came with, I believe, 900cc. We have aftermarket downpipes. We're also running airlift on the car because it was impossible to do coilovers with the Liberty Walk kit. I just would scrape everywhere. Inside, you guys can't see, but I had starlights up in the roof, carbon fiber Alcantara steering wheel with red stitching. I also failed to mention that this is a 2015 GT-R, the black edition, in Recaro red with the Recaro seats. I'm trying to remember everything on this car. I haven't seen it in a minute. Like, it's been out of sight, out of mind. If you may say, I have a lot of broken projects, okay? Other than that, there's not much else to point out. So we do have some secret plans for this car for this year's SEMA. Do you want to run me down exactly what we're gonna be doing to the car?
No.
We kind of don't really know ourselves 100%, but now that we're picking the color, we can actually start working towards having the car done for hopefully this year's SEMA. Do you think that's still attainable?
Yes.
All right.
Now, it won't be forged carbon like someone's been asking for 2 years.
Well,
but
listen, I watched the super fast matte video. I think we could do the forged carbon fiber. Maybe not for this year's SEMA, but we're gonna do it. This is gonna be the world's first forged carbon fiber Liberty Walk GT-R. I stand by that. We're doing it, Brian.
We'll make it happen.
This is one of my dumb ideas. We're doing that
2
one.
years.
2 years?
2 years.
Oh.
Remember, there's this year and then next year.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. All right, run me down what we're gonna be doing.
Fix hood so it properly opens. The hinges are bent, so those will be replaced. As Annie mentioned before, we will be getting this retuned. We have a shop that we're gonna work with. We'll share that later, probably while that's actually happening. Possibly getting this from Alpha 7 to Alpha 9. One, there's no intercooler on this, which is also a problem. Whether you're in Florida or Texas, this heat's horrendous. We will be re-blocking everything on the hood just to make sure it's perfectly smooth before we lay the vinyl. One thing on the vinyl, when Annie finally makes that final decision, is it will not just be solid that color. We're gonna do some accents and treatments to break it up that I think will make it look even better. On the front end, as I have briefly mentioned, we're actually gonna be building a motorsport style plywood front lip so that if we hit debris in the road while Annie's doing rallies, we can quickly do that. But also partly the reason what we're doing is so that ride height with the airlift can be a little lower. The current lip and side skirts are about 4 inches thick. We want to get that down to about 1 inch. So that'll give us 3 inches of additional clearance. Then that way we can reduce that wheel gap if anyone remembers seeing how big the wheel gap is at ride height.
Well, it was pretty bad, I will say. Also, what I failed to mention is when I bought the car, the front lip didn't have rods on it, and if you look at the standard Liberty Walk kit, they come with rods. For some reason, the previous owner did not install them because the shop told him not to, or that it was okay without them, until I think it was like 2 hours into my ride back home, because I did drive this back from Miami to Houston. My front lip came undone by the seam, so I had to duct tape the entire front end for the entire 26-hour drive. It was janky to say at the least.
So as we mentioned earlier, we're going to be replacing the front fenders, kind of properly getting these cut with the right clearance, properly fitting the over fenders there. Rear quarter, we're actually going to be doing a full extended metal inner fender, so they'll actually line up with the outer fender. That way debris can no longer catch and collect on the inside there.
It's funny because while I drive, I can hear the rocks going through the kit.
Rear deck, we're actually going to get one that has no holes for the factory wing. Also repositioning the big wings so that you can actually open the trunk. Trying to convince Annie to also do a second, maybe duckbill style wing on the rear trunk, but you know, you guys can debate that.
We also do have a Studio RSR roll cage that goes into the car as well. I had it painted red to match the Recaro red seats, or the seats. The seats. This car has been through a lot, to say the least. I've rallied it, I've tracked it, and it's gone through a lot of damage. But it's been a trooper. I absolutely love the R35 platform. It truly does hold up. Like, I've beat on this car, and I'm sure the previous owner did as well, and it hasn't broken at all, surprisingly enough. Because I break most cars. I will be keeping you guys updated with everything that's gonna be happening on the car, and as we do updates, as we get more work done on it, so you guys get like a behind the scenes view of what it's gonna look before it actually gets revealed at SEMA. But other than that, you guys got the gist of the car. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below, and we will answer them or show you guys in the next video of the GT-R update. But for now, peace out.